Homage to the Venerable Monk Lu-Ling. Homage to Master Sakya Dzogchen, the Dzogchen Rinpoche. Homage to the 16th Dharma King Karmapa. And homage to Master Thubten Tarji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of the group practice, Padma Kumara. Simu, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, temple directors, all disciples present here and over the internet, and our primary guests today are from the North Coordination Council of North America, Secretary General Liao's wife, Dharma Sister Judy. Accountant to the True Buddha Foundation, Dharma Sister Teresa. From CTI TV Taiwan, the producers for the Canadian Sangsinten, Dharma Sister Rebecca Shiyachi. And Dr. Zhuang. And also like to welcome all of our other special guests. Everyone, good evening. How do you do? How are you? How do you do in Cantonese? Thank you. So today we performed the practice of Padma Kumara, the root guru yoga. And in the past, nobody ever mentioned Padma Kumara or the lotus youth. And then when I was brought to the heavenly realms, only then I met and saw Padma Kumara, the lotus youth. And the Golden Mother told me that your past life was Padma Kumara. And then and the Dharma name given to me was Lien Sung, which means lotus born. And later on, I started to discover that in Donghuang caves, that inside the Donghuang caves, there is also Sakyamuni Buddha and Golden Mother and Padma Kumara, all lined up together on the same level. So it's not that Sakyamuni Buddha is higher than Golden Mother and then Padma Kumara was at the bottom. No, but the three of them were on the same level. And then I realized that Padma Kumara did exist. And there was a university in Gansu province in China, actually the Lanzhou University there. And they had a research especially on Padmakumara, and they published a book on Padmakumara, and they called Padmakumara, they used the name of Padmakumara. So I didn't create it. I didn't create Padmakumara. So from then on, there are many more Padmakumaras being discovered, like in the Shambhala kingdom. The first king was Manjushri Bodhisattva, and the first son of Manjushri Bodhisattva. So the second king was the White Lotus King. See, so that appeared, and there were many other pointers or guidance that Padmakumaras are quite common in this world. So inside the Tonghuang caves, there were many Padmakumaras, almost in every cave. So the most common deity was Padmakumara, and nobody ever wrote about it before. And finally, I came across a sutra that flowed out of my heart. And the sutra is called the True Buddha Sutra. And inside the sutra, it was all about the affinities of Padmakumara. So that's Padmakumara. And you can attain swift spiritual response with Padmakumara. So Padmakumara appeared out of the mature causes and conditions. And in the past, nobody knew about Padmakumara. Nobody ever mentioned it. So after I was told about Padmakumara, I heard it very clearly and vividly, personally, and then from then on, histories and records about Padmakumara started to appear. So in this world, it manifested. So by seeing and hearing, so that started my own spiritual commitment. If I never met Padmakumara in heaven and did not hear about the name Padmakumara, then it would be as if I made it up, and that would be a big lie. That would have been like a really huge lie. So I would be cheating on a lot of people, but in reality, I did see Padmakumara with my own eyes, and I heard the name Padmakumara with my own ears. So Padmakumara, what was the name of that song? Oh, the Lotus Lamb. And the lyrics of that song, have you heard that song? Yes. And it said that the Lotus youth was never vain. He's real. So that supported my commitment to spiritual practice for 40 years, and it never slacked. 44 years actually. I never turned my back on my spiritual cultivation. If I did, maybe nothing would be left. Because I saw Padma Kumara with my own eyes, and I heard the name with my own ears, and I have been to the Maha Double Lotus Pond, which is the pure land of Padma Kumara. We've heard a lot about Padma Kumara, and the book on Padma Kumara has been published and available for free by Dharma brother Zhang Mingchong of the Fa Ming chapter of Taipei, Taiwan. Do we have that book here? Yes. So, do we? It's only one. It's only one in the True Buddha Foundation. Oh, Amitabha. Oh, 2 books. It's at the Tartan culture. It's still in shipping. Oh, I have several. So why don't you give them to people? After all that talk, it turned out we only have 1 book here at the Seattle Lijiang Temple. So, True Buddha Foundation should have a public relation team or committee. So, Master Lien He, so you should support the circulation of the origin of Padma Kumara. So, in the Great Completion Dharma, we also talk about precepts. And typically, precepts, there are many precepts, the 5 basic precepts, the 8 precepts, the same as that precept pick. So 5 precepts, 8 precepts, and the precepts for monks and nuns, for the young monks, for the monks, for the nuns, and for the bodhisattvas, precepts for the lay practitioners. These are important precepts that should be abided by Buddhist practitioners. And for Tantrayana, the 14 root downfall precepts and the 50 stanzas of Guru devotion. So these are the 6 major precepts of Great Perfection Dharma. So the Great Perfection is typically practiced by those with strong spiritual roots. And there are 9 stages, and the highest one is Ati Yoga, and then Anu Yoga, and then Maha Yoga. The 3 highest levels of spiritual cultivation. And from the Sravakahood, Pratika Buddhahood, and Bodhisattvahood, and then the Kriya Tantra, Charya Tantra, and Yoga Tantra. And then higher, it would be Mahayoga, Anuyoga, and Ati Yoga. Altogether, 9 stages. And those of highest level would practice Mahayoga, Anuyoga, and Ati Yoga. And if you don't have such strong spiritual root, you start from Sravaka, Pratika Buddha, and then Bodhisattva. And then in Tantrayana would be the Kriya, Charya, and Yoga Tantras. So they are, it depends on your spiritual roots, your dispositions, and also causes and conditions, which level you would start practice. So in Great Perfection Dharma, there are 3 root downfalls. The first one, so you desire for name and benefits. So privileges. So you want a certain name. Like you're not there yet, but you say that you have achieved that. So it's your desire for name or reputation. So you have not attained any fruition, and then you say that you have attained. So that's some kind of greed for name. And then greed or desire for gain. It's not supposed to be yours, but you want it. And then you praise yourself and defame others. Many people do that. Mine is always the best, others are worse. Mine is highest, and others are lower. So that's also a root downfall. Praising yourself and slandering others. Because once you reach the great perfection level, you know that self and others are equal. There is no differences between high and low. When you reach that realm, you would know that it turned out it is equal between self and others. That you're great and others are minuscule, that's no such case. If you praise yourself and defame others, that would be a root downfall. And the third is not giving. So if you hear something and you're supposed to be charitable and you don't. Like recently, the Siadalitang Temple joined the Walk for Rice to help the poor, to give to the food banks, to feed the poor. So you hear it in one ear and out the other, and you think, I don't have enough money, why should I give? Other people should give to me. But if you have, so it doesn't matter whether it's more or less. If you don't have money, you give a little bit. So even when you don't have money, you can give $2 or $5, right? So it's up to you. So you heard it, but you don't give. That's also a root downfall, because you need to help others. You know, because you're a bodhisattva, you're cultivating spiritually, so you need to give. So you give either monetary or wealth or time or also Dharma. It's okay. If you don't have money, you give a little bit. If you say you don't even have a dime, you can ask other people to give. There's also merit in there. If you ask others to give, that means giving is in your mind. So in Great Perfection Dharma, if you don't give, that's a root downfall. And the next one is not enduring. You cannot endure this person or that person or this or that. No, that's not allowed. Why? Don't you say that self and others are equal? Since that's the case, then you need to endure. If you can't, then you can practice Great Perfection Dharma. If someone wrote an article and defame you, then you got really mad and enraged, but you need to endure as a spiritual cultivator. If you can, that's good. You are unaffected, but if you cannot endure, then you cannot practice Great Perfection Dharma, or your enlightenment is not real. It's not complete. Why should you be able to endure everything? Because those don't exist. The slanderer does not exist, and the slander doesn't exist. That's why you need to know how to endure. And the fifth, if you fight with someone, the practitioner for Great Perfection Dharma cannot fight with anyone. And you cannot argue with anyone. So when you have fruition in your Great Perfection Dharma, and yet you still fight or argue with others, that's not acceptable. And if you let go or forsake the bodhicitta mind of Mahayana Buddhism, that's also a root downfall. So the bodhicitta of the Mahayana, which is the mind for enlightenment for the sake of others, you need to be compassionate. That includes a lot of things. And if you let go of compassion, then you would be just like a mundane person. You cannot practice Great Perfection Dharma. Now let's talk a little bit about this book. Guru Padmasambhava manifested in the meditation of living Buddha Lien Sheng and empower the Vajra Master Lien Sheng, and said that the Vajra Master Lien Sheng in the future will confirm and complete the Pure Land of Mahadabha Lotus Pond of Western Paradise, that in this life he would deliver salvage sentient beings widely, and his look is very dignified and has the same merit as Guru Padmasambhava. And he does not only benefit the human beings, but also benefit the heavenly realms. And even the Hinayana practitioners will take refuge. So he would widely spread the Buddha Dharma all over the world. And it would be incomparable. So the True Buddha school now has spread to all over the world. and it is the followers are innumerable. So we don't need to count. There's this joke. There are two robbers that robbed a bank and took guns, and after shooting, they all dug on the floor, and they took the money and ran away. And then the other one took all the money inside the bank, and then they got all the money they could and ran away. And then the two robbers talked to each other. Hey, now we should split this. Let's count them. So, and the other one said, no need. We would know how much it is in the newspaper. They have counted it for us. So there's no need for us to count. Okay, there is a country, I don't want to mention its name. There is a country that already counted that the true Buddha disciples in that country are so that number. The police have counted them for us, and there are 1 million disciples in that country alone. So just that country has 1 million disciples. So imagine how many disciples True Buddha School has. I didn't say which country. Huh? So what Guru Padmava said was right. That the salvation, the number of sentient beings would be the most. So, and we haven't stopped, we haven't ended. And Guru Padmasambhava had said that to me. This book was written, this is book number 56. And now there are already 242 books. And this was written on the Taiwanese year 82, which means 1993. So that was 21 years ago. So now 21 years ago. So this is like the second edition. So even before that, so over 20 years ago, Guru Padmasambhava had already mentioned it. So now it's been confirmed that what Guru Padmasambhava predicted was correct. That the sentient beings being liberated would be very innumerable. Now let me first share a joke. This is not a joke. There is the chubby, the little kid, chubby, and knock on the dog's head. Huh? And what is the snack that I love most? And the dog just bark, bark, bark. And then Chubby knocked on the head of the cat. Which place do we go to pray? And the cat replied, meow, meow, in Chinese means temple. And Chubby asked the frog, this is also just Chinese words. So this means yogic response or yoga, like Maha Yoga, that means the great spiritual or yogic response. So Anu Yoga is talking about the yogic response, like the Root Guru Yoga that we practice today, which you practice to gain this yogic response with Padma Kumara. In the group practice earlier, the Dharmakaya Padma Kumara appeared in the space above, radiated white light, red light, and blue light. And then I became Padma Kumara, and Padma Kumara entered into my body, and two Padma Kumaras merged to become one Padma Kumara. So if you could also be like that in your practice, in the group practice, and you would experience that Padma Kumara entered into yourself and you became Padma Kumara, and then you recite the Padma Kumara mantra to strengthen the Padma Kumara inside you. And if you could feel that and experience that, then that would be called a yogic or spiritual response. Now let me tell the second joke. The wife sighed. How come a housewife has a never-ending housework? And the husband replied, well, what can I do? Because you don't want me to have two more wives. Then altogether would be 3 wives. Recently, I have suffered a lot. At home, there are only 2 of us because the children have moved out. At my home in Seattle, for Ching has been married, of course, she has her own home, and for Chi married to Sunny, and for Ching married to Andy. And for Chi built his own home and lived at his own house. And the 2 grandchildren are also with them. So at our home, there are only 2 of us. And Simu is very busy with her housework, and it's never ending. Lots of work. So I told her, I also told her, because Simu is not here tonight, I did tell her, yeah, that's because you don't want it. If you have more helpers, would be nice, right? And she didn't want it. No, I'll do it all by myself. She could ask others. She asked me to do something, some simple thing, like taking the garbage out to the garbage can, and then pull the garbage can to the side of the street on a garbage day, and then take the mails in, and then wash dishes, you know, the dirty, because I saw the dirty dishes on the sink, so I washed them on my own. If it is greasy, then you should use a little bit of dish washing soap and you need to make sure that you rinse it well so that the detergent doesn't stay. And if it's not greasy, you use that square sponge to wipe the plate, and chopsticks, spoons, and pots and pans. Just the two of us, right? So it's easy to do dishwashing. And for vacuuming the floor, and she did the whole piece, and then there's a few left, and then she just placed the vacuum cleaner there and just took a look at me. And then I looked back at her. But don't we have those 4 dancing girls from Taiwan? Let them sleep at home. That would be nice. And then ask them to exercise every day, and then clean our garages, our yards, and do house cleaning. You can ask them to do. And she said no. Oh, she's so strict. Because those dancing girls are really beautiful and young. So that's why no. She only allowed 1 person. But this person cannot do housework. But this person cannot do housework, and that person is Master Hui Jun. Where is she? Please stand up. Please face the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Please show your arms to everyone. Oh my God. She only allowed Master Hui Jun, but she cannot do housework. You know, I've said that in United States, all I buy is gasoline for the car. And in Taiwan, all I spend is buy water, buy the drinking water. And you know, I bought 7 bottles of water. How come? 2 of them are gone. It turned out that Hui Jin took them home with her. So, do you have conscience? You take those water bottle home. You know, I brought them with a lot of hard work back to my home, and then you took them away. And Simu said, Hui Jin, you came here in Taiwan to help Simu. So you can eat whatever you want from the fridge. All my food are eaten up by her. Oh no, she's a snacker. She loves snacks. She even ate my ice cream, my sugar-free ice cream, and my nuts. I have the whole bottle of nuts. And then she ate them all up. And the lollipop, I mean the pops, ice cream pop. You ate almost everything in my house. She doesn't know how to do housework. So do you know how to do housework? A little bit. So what use is that? Actually, everyone has their own use and function. So Hui Jun too has her specialty. She writes articles really fast and her websites are really good. So she also has her expertise. And she's the one that contact restaurants and order and arranging a meal, dinners and ordering meals. So she did well in those. So I'm not praising myself and slandering others. That's not allowed. But I'm slandering her and praising her at the same time. So that's being neutralized. It's not a rude downfall. There is a reporter that asked the last athlete that got to the finish line. So you got last, was that you lost your stamina? And the athlete replied, really? Enraged and said, you didn't see that? The other people were running really fast because I was chasing after them. So even when you were last, all the same you arrive at the other shore. So that's why we should not defame others, because in the future all of us would become Buddhas. It's just sooner or later. In Great Perfection Dharma, it was written very clearly that every single being is a Buddha and every single being will become a Buddha in the future. It is a matter of sooner or later. Some people know how to walk the spiritual cultivation, and some of them are still trying to discover it. But at the end, everyone will arrive and become a Buddha. That's why we say that it is equal and no difference. There's no need to fight, not to argue, because ultimately everyone would become Buddha. It is just a matter of time, because each single being has a Buddha nature. Even the robber, the gangster, or even the animals. And the birds, every being has a Buddha nature according to the text of Great Perfection. And in Sakyamuni Buddha's Jataka, Sakyamuni Buddha has been reincarnated into the three lower realms as animals, deer, elephant, the king of elephant, the king of deer, that referred to Sakyamuni Buddha. So he's been reborn as those two. So that was mentioned in his biographies of all past lives. And he had also been in heavens, and he had been a ghost, also a Raksasa. So he's been reborn into each of the realms. Sometimes it's in the heavenly realms, or in the ghost realm, or yaksa, or the three lower realms, or animals. So Sakyamuni Buddha became a Buddha, and all his past lives showed that no matter what, you would become a Buddha ultimately. That's why it is called the Great Perfection. Otherwise, it will not be called a Great Perfection. Everyone should know this. Someone has a wedding party and the time is there and 27 people there, And he said, well, the ones should be here are not here. So the guests thought that maybe they should not be here. So over 10 of them left. And then the host felt those who are not supposed to leave left. And then the remaining guests finally also left. Only one best friend stayed and told the host, you shouldn't say that to the guest. And the host said, I didn't say it to them. And this only friend thought, well, if he didn't mean to say it to them, then maybe it's for him. And he also left, and nobody is left. So this would inspire you with, give you an insight that when we speak, we should not forsake bodhicitta mind of Mahayana. We want to deliver other sentient beings. At the time of Sakyamuni Buddha, there is a precept that is very important. That you respect the monks and treasure the lay practitioners. So we all should respect the monks and the Sangha members. But to the lay practitioners, we need you need to also value them. So we cannot say that, oh, we are a monk or a nun, that we are very precious. But actually, the lay practitioners are precious too. There was people from Germany before that came here, and they took the bus from the airport, and the driver told them that this is the closest stop to the Taiwan, to this temple. And they made a phone call to this temple and told us that we came from Germany and now we have arrived here at the Lake Sammamish site, and could you please send someone to pick us to go to the temple? And the monk receiving the phone call said, hey, I'm a monk, and as a monk I'm very precious. How could I provide a service to the lay practitioners? How come the monk becomes the driver for the lay practitioners? So if it's so close, why don't you just walk over to the temple? Just carry all your luggages. And they were actually planning to stay here for a month. And at the end, what happened? Do you know? So, what's the... Finally, they stayed at the hotel. They were going to stay here for a month because they felt neglected. And when they heard the words of the monk, they decided to stay only for a day or two. And then I talked about it on this Dharma throne, that that was not right. The precept of Sakyamuni Buddha was that although the monks and nuns respected, but all sentient beings should be valued too. So in propagating Buddha Dharma and delivering sentient beings, we should not let go of our bodhicitta, because they came from Germany here, and after I talked about it, they finally decided to stay for 1 month. And in Taiwan Lechang Temple too, something happened. During my retreat, I enticed and delivered one of the 10 best entrepreneurs in Taiwan, and she wanted to read my books, and I told them to go to the Taiwan Lechang Temple to buy them. They were very casually, actually. They're like one of the top 10 business in Taiwan. And at that time, the construction in Taiwan Lechang Temple is not completed. There's still a lot of steel rods, and we did not have enough funds to continue the construction. So when they saw that, they vowed to complete the constructions of Taiwan Temple. But when they got inside the temple, they met a nun, and they called on them, "Dharma sister, where are the books of Grandmaster Lu?" And that nun replied tersely, "Please don't call me Dharma sister. I am a Dharma teacher." "Oh, sorry, okay, Fa Si or Dharma teacher, please tell me where Grandmaster Lu's books are." And the nun said, "It is lunchtime now. I want to eat my lunch. If you want to buy books, go over there." And then she turned around and left. She went to eat her lunch, and everybody were having their lunch, and nobody took care of them. And they saw the books, and after a short period of time, they also ignored me completely. And they're the top 10 business in Taiwan. It's not easy to get them onto spiritual cultivation path, and all gone after they visited our temple in Taiwan. So they have violated the bodhicitta, Mahayana's bodhicitta mind. You know that I visited the Zhi Hospital in Tanzi, Taiwan. And when I saw it, wow, it's like a Potala palace. It's really imposing. It's really huge. And Simu went there first before I did. It's her brother-in-law. So her elder sister's husband was hospitalized there. And that was my first time I visited that Tzu hospital. It was a huge field and a huge lobby. And I thought, oh, to Buddha school is nothing. It was really, really imposing, really like a palace. And our head temple is just like this. You know, the lobby there is as huge as our complex here. Just the lobby of the hospital. Oh, it's really spacious. When Simud went there, all the volunteers were lined up, hundreds of them. They all wear uniforms. You know? When you got off your car, the volunteer would greet you. "Can I help you? Which department would you want to go? Let me take you there. Are you visiting patients? Which room? Let me take you there. What can I help you? Do you want me to buy you a flower bouquet? Do you want me to buy some gifts for the patients you're visiting? Or do you need a car? Do you need a ride? Or do you want to see a doctor? All the volunteers would come up and offer their help, their service. Whether you get off a taxi, a public transport, as long as you get into the Tzu Chi hospital, they would be greeted with a nice and warm service of the volunteers. Can I help you? This is very important. Our monks and nuns, sometimes we have visitors that we've never seen before, and they came and left, and so I asked the monks and nuns, who were they? I don't know. And then I asked the other one, I don't know, I didn't see them. And I asked the third one, yeah, I saw them. But did you say hi to them? Did you greet them? No, I was busy. And then I asked the fourth one, what? What did you say? No one greeted them. No one provided anything. So, Master Darji visited Taiwan Lichang Temple and went around the temple everywhere. Nobody knew. And he was my lineage root guru. He went to Taiwan Lichang Temple. He wore something different, a different kind of Lama outfit, which is with nine outfits. He went all around Taiwan Lichang Temple and nobody greeted him. Everyone ignored him. Nobody even came up, and so he complained to me. He wrote me a letter. I went to your Taiwan Lichang Temple and there's not even a glass of water. And finally he met Master Lian Wang. Master Lian Wang, you're there. What did you say to him? A monk went to find me, the Master Lian Wang said, that someone is acting weirdly. So, were you talking to him? So he was teaching me about the Buddhist statue. So you didn't say anything to him, and he was the one that introducing the Buddhist statues to you. And then did you find out that he was my lineage root guru? So he took out a photo album and he was standing and Grandmaster was kneeling on the ground before him. So I was really shocked when I saw that. So now let me ask you, did you bow to him then? Yes, I did. And then I also asked the monks to pay homage to him. See? Wasn't that a really strange thing? So anyone came to us and looking around all over, if he didn't tell you who he was, you wouldn't know. You should have greeted him and asked him, oh, can I help you? Where are you from? and then introduce our temple to him, the services we have. And then on Saturday evening, we have a group practice here at 8 p.m. and also at the Rainbow Temple. We have a Homa fire offering ceremony Sundays at 3 p.m. and to welcome them to join us. That's a good way to entice them onto spiritual cultivation path. So that's why I often say, if you don't promote, then you would fail. So, because every one of us is a Dharma propagator, whether you're a monk, a nun, or a lay practitioner, male or female, you need to be very hospitable and kind and friendly to greet them, to welcome them, so they would feel that this is a really and welcoming place, not a very scary and mysterious place that when you get in you would be eaten up. So it really is not easy to get them onto spiritual cultivation path. It's really difficult to teach you too. But Tzu Chi knows how to train their volunteers. And their volunteers are very polite. They don't just come to eat and leave, but they really offer their service to the general public, and we need to learn that. Every one of us is a volunteer, and every one of us has to deliver sentient being, and this is needed in the Great Perfection Dharma. A salesman was making a high-pitched sales, and this is an automatic shaver, a face shaver. If you place your head on that place, then the automatic shaver would automatically shave you. And someone asked, but every face is different. How would the shaver handle that? And the salesman said, don't worry. Once you shave once, then all of you would have the same face. So this kind of sales pitch would not work. So we need to make a good sales pitch of our True Buddha School. What are the good points, the benefits of our school? What is the strength of our school that we can deliver beings to the Western paradise, and we can let people gain great health? And True Buddha School has its own True Buddha Dharma that can be practiced by everyone, can be studied and trained. There's the Yidam practice, Root Guru Yoga, the 4 preliminary practices and the inner practices, and also the secret practices and the great perfection practices. Our Dharma practices are very complete, and from the most basic to the highest level. They may not be offered at other schools, and we should be the best in our Dharma practices, in our Dharma teachings. In all the tantric Dharma teachings, True Buddha School should be the most complete. And once you learn it here, and then if you put it into practice on your own, you would gain lots of yogic responses. So you should promote this because this is a good thing. And we're different from others. We're not like that salesman that after you shave with that automatic shaver, everyone's face would be the same. But we are different because we stress great importance on Buddha Dharma, on the real practices of the Buddha Dharma. And we do truly have those Dharma practices, and we need to promote them, and we should be best promoters, all of us. Om Mani Padme Hum.